folks. Dr. Freedom, every Times of Doctor News from in and around the universe that may or may not excite you, invite you, and bring you into the bigger picture and make you see the cosmos for what it is. Now, all I can say is this. The usual suspects, of course, still running about, shouting around like poor kids who haven't gotten their way, stamping their feet outside the candy store because mama didn't give them the, licorice stick they wanted or whatever. But it's just still amazing me, the behavior of some folks out there. My favorite one so far, well, like I said, somebody put up a picture, of course, of this Series 11 box set. And they're like, I bought this at a store for like £8. That's funny because a fella over on the one group, and I wish I could remember his name, put up the charts for like DVDs, box set sales, and Blu-ray sets and all that. And Series 11 was in there for the last 21 weeks in the top 50. Yeah, it's selling so horrible. Yeah, but meanwhile, you can get all the Capaldi for $20, all of Tennant and like all that for $20. That doesn't mean that they sucked. Oh, hey, but you see what I mean? Just the kind of propaganda machine that drives you crazy. And of course, you got your usual assortment of false prophets running around out there claiming I know this and I know that. And meanwhile, when you go to their channels and actually look for this, groundbreaking information, you don't find it, do you? But that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Let's get to the news. That's what really matters. Let's talk about what is happening out there in the land of the universe. First off, the new Series 10 trailer is out for the Pertwee Blu-ray set that's upcoming. Be sure to go check this out. It's just shy of 3 minutes, but it's a really nice thing to watch. Really cool stuff. Be sure to go check this out. Link will be below in the description box, as always. Next up, the reason why I'm putting this link up is because Doctor Who has been shortlisted for Best Family Drama. Now, it's not on this page. That's Best Drama. I think it's on the next one. But this is the page you go to vote for the TV Choice Awards. I'll have this down below for you. And it says these polls will remain open until midnight on Friday the 5th. So you got to the end of this week to go check this out. You got till Friday. So way you go. Oh, sorry. I forgot to close that. The Dr. Freedom Instagram page. Go check it out. All right, moving forward. All right, this is the one that's been really getting people's weirdness in a wad. Their nether regions tied in knots because this came out in the Mirror. Now, it says right here that the Doctor is going to push an eco message by highlighting plastic waste in a new episode. Now, what gets me is the PC crowd's going to be going nuts, going, Doctor Who has become too PC. I'm like, does anybody remember the Green Death or just to name one right off the top of my head? Or what do you think the actual message was about the Autons, about plastic? That's just me. Plus, if you've listened to a recent Torchwood called Sargasso, it actually takes place that tells you that, yes, out there floating around in the ocean, there's this big island of waste. And it's really there. That part's not fiction. And it goes into there and all that. I don't want to give away too much on that, in case you haven't listened to it yet. But, okay, it says right here, this is what they've got. Okay, Doctor Who will continue battling plastic in the new series, but this enemy won't be the shop dummy Autons, something far deadlier. Doctor Who Jodie Whittaker will wage war on plastic choking the world's oceans. Chris Chibnall's covered racism, gender politics, and British imperialism in the last series, which, by the way, has been covered in one form or another in the classic series. I'm not kidding. It just drives me nuts, all these people saying, sorry, let me zoom the window up, that Doctor Who's pushing a political agenda. It's always been pushing a political agenda. It's just the same as Star Trek. A lot of the more memorable episodes of Star Trek were allegories of something that was actually going on in the current time frame that series was being shot. Doctor Who's been no different over the last going on 56 years. So he's covered, like I said, racism, gender politics, British imperialism in the last series, leading some viewers to moan the sci-fi show aimed at kids had become too PC with its messages. But it averaged 8.6 million viewers, making it the most popular since David Tennant's third run as the Doctor in 2008. And yes, even the Mirror is saying that, which scares the crap out of me. Because you know how I feel about the Mirror. One show insider revealed last season the theme was empowerment for women, mirroring what was happening elsewhere in the world. This time there'll be an effort to get behind the message that what we're doing is killing our planet. Now, kids are really involved in these environmental issues, so it's a perfect fit for Doctor Who. And right here, there's a nice picture of, plastic pollution, yada, yada, yada. Okay, it's demonstrated a social consciousness on other matters, too. The Doctor overthrew the galactic slave trade in 1981's Warrior's Gate. And they're talking, of course, about, the time-sensitive Ethereals being, slave traded in those ships and whatnot. And like I said, I don't want to go into too much of the plot because it was a good episode. But, okay. Jodie Whittaker's second series is due in BBC One, and they keep saying early next year, following her second festive special. That's the one that's causing people a little weirdness. Because what do they mean? There's been words now going around that allegedly there's going to be a Christmas special this year and all that. But like I said, I want to see it from somewhere legitimate. Sure, this person who's doing this article, from what I've been told, has been more accurate than not. But I want to see it from something official before I get too excited about the fact that there's going to be like a New Year's or what you call special ahead of Series 12. That's what I mean. That's just me. Call me crazy. That, of course, has led to, once again, sorry, wrong one. This by article in the Radio Times, which is saying, all right, basically understands the plan is in the works to air a standalone Doctor Who special sometime before Series 12 hits the screen, possibly in a festive slot like this year's New Year's Day special or the Christmas specials that were released every year prior. Now, Radio Times, I tend to believe a bit more, but at the same time, where are they getting this from? Once again, they keep saying that magic word, early 2020. Like I said, I've heard January and I've heard March. So either way, it's kind of early. We'll have to sit back, wait, and get some more information before we go crazy. All right, this is the one that was supposed to come after David Tennant, Jodie Whittaker, and Olivia Colman, among stars, to record a new Children in Need album. Actors including Jim Broadbent, Hamish Patel, Adrian Lester, Helena Bonham Carter, and Saran Jones will also be in this quote-unquote super group. All right, here we go. Because the new Children in Need project, Get It Covered, is set to see a whole host of stars create a new album of cover songs for the charity event, with the proceeds going to Children in Need and the recording process turned into an hour-long documentary. If you want to go check this out, but here's the full list, lending their vocal cords: Jodie Whittaker, Helen Bonham Carter, Jim Broadbent, as we said, Sean Dooley, Luke Evans, Saran Jones, Adrian Lester, Hamish Patel. If I'm getting that wrong, let me know. So nice to see, they're doing a cute project. It's kind of like We Are the World, but with British stars. Did that make any sense? Okay. The album will be released in conjunction with the Silva Screen Records for release in late 2019, with all profits going to Children in Need. Kind of nice that they're doing this nifty little thing, for charity. Freema Agyeman reflects on life after Doctor Who. Fandom does not affect your career. Now, she's going on to do quite a few things here and there. I'm kind of hoping she's going to come back eventually and do Big Finish. I'm really hoping so. I'd really love to see her back in that capacity. Nice little interview here with Freema. If you want to go check it out, remember, links are always below in the description box if you want to go check this out. And lastly for today, Jon Pertwee Centenary Celebration will be on BBC Radio 4 Extra. All right. The BBC Radio 4 will broadcast a special program celebrating the centenary of Jon Pertwee's birth, and it will be presented by his son, Jon Pertwee. Now, a BBC radio documentary has uncovered previously unbroadcast recordings of the legendary Doctor Who and Wurzel Gummidge actor Jon Pertwee, and this program is presented by Sean on the centenary of the birth of his father, John Devon Roland Pertwee. Yeah, he had a big name. Who was born on the 7th of July in 1919. Keep your eyeballs and earballs right there. Matter of fact, the Jon Pertwee Files will be broadcasted on BBC Radio 4 Extra on Saturday, the 6th of July at 8 a.m., and it'll repeat at 3 p.m. and then late at evening at 3 a.m. It'll also be broadcast at 4 p.m. on BBC Radio Solent on Sunday. There you go. Really cool things coming in celebration of the centenary of Jon Pertwee. So once again, I keep telling you folks, and I'm not wanting to be repetitive, but please burn these 4 words into your mind. Beware of false prophets. I've seen them come. I've seen them go. There's dime a dozen sometimes on YouTube. Like I said, I've had, I don't know how many people, jumping up and down going, I predicted that. I've only seen a couple of actual times in my going on 7 years of doing this. Well, coming up on 8 this October, where people have actually put information out ahead of time that I've seen with these old bugger eyes behind these not rose-colored glasses, but you know what I'm talking about. So please be very careful who you listen to out there, because there's some people who are slanted one way, some people who are slanted the other. I try to stay in the middle, but at the same time, as I've told you, while Series 11 was nowhere near the greatest in the world, I gave it like a 65%, maybe a C+. It was not by far the worst I've ever seen, because one of these days I'm just going to have to sit down and write down which series was the worst, because I can't bring it out of the brain noggin right now because I got a lot going on tonight I got to get done. But the fact of the matter is this. While you don't like Chris Chibnall, maybe you don't like Jodie Whittaker, maybe you don't like the writing at all, they've brought attention back to this show in a major way, and it needed it badly. Let me reiterate the fact that Series 10's average rating was 5.5 million, the lowest in the whole time the show's been on the air since it came back. And this is not disrespecting Peter Capaldi or anyone else who had anything to do with those series, because I loved Series 10, I loved Bill Potts. But the fact of the matter is, after you get a show on for a few years, people tend to drift away from it. Plus, you had the gap years, the split seasons, and if you watch the chart that was put, I showed you one that Ace Creeper made. It really started to go downhill in Series 10, and that wasn't Capaldi's fault. It's just people, once something's out of sight for a while, it tends to get out of mind. Also, people outgrow things, or other things happen in life where they don't have time to go back to something. But the fact of the matter is, Series 11 brought a lot of much-needed life back into this show at a point where it was at a critical juncture. There was literally probably talks, like I said, I don't confirm because I don't know what's probably went on in that point. But come on, when your series starts going downhill like that, I wouldn't have been the least bit surprised to find out there was a meeting somewhere where the word cancellation was mentioned. So the fact that this has happened, if you don't like what's going on now, at least these people bought you the time that you may yet get another doctor. You may yet get another showrunner, because the way it was looking for a while there, it was over. At least if those ratings had kept dipping the way they were, it was over. So just be thankful that the show you love itself is still around. While you disapprove with the current running and agenda, that's fine. But at least support the show, and maybe someday, like the weather in Ohio, you'll get what you want. It happens occasionally. Good night, everybody. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and have a good one.